Hello students. Today we will discuss a new topic, chloride shift or Hamburger phenomenon. So this chloride shift or Hamburger phenomenon is related to the carbon dioxide transport. Carbon dioxide transport taking place from the tissues from tissues to through the blood. It will be transported to the lungs, and from the lungs it will be expelled out to the air. Okay, so this carbon dioxide transport time, the carbon dioxide is converted into different forms. Okay, so there are three ways in which the carbon dioxide is transported. Okay, so what are the three ways in which the carbon dioxide is transported? 7% of the carbon dioxide is transported in the dissolved form. That means it dissolved in the plasma, and then like that way it is transported. Okay, then 20 to 25 percentage carbon dioxide is transported in the form of carbaminohemoglobin. Carbaminoglobin, right? Carbaminohemoglobin. Remaining 70 percentage carbon dioxide is transported as bicarbonate ions. Bicarbonates. Okay. So carbon dioxide transport from the tissues through the blood to the lungs in three different ways. 7% is in the dissolved form. That means it dissolves in the plasma. Then 20 to 25 percentage of carbon dioxide combines with the hemoglobin to form carbaminohemoglobin. So this bounded form it is transported, and 70 percentage of the carbon dioxide is transported in the form of bicarbonate ions. When you check compare all these three different ways, the largest fraction of the carbon dioxide is transported in the bicarbonate ions, right? Bicarbonate ions, like that way only it is transporting. So while writing, when you are writing the equation, carbon dioxide first combines with the water to form what? First carbonic acid. Okay, H2CO3 is the carbonic acid, and this carbonic acid is an unstable compound. This immediately splits or dissolves to H plus ions and HCO3 minus ion. Okay, that's what this is, that bicarbonate ions. So carbon dioxide combines with the water present in the plasma and also erythrocyte. This reaction taking place both in the plasma and erythrocytes, right? So this reaction, it is a irreversible or reversible. From the equation, we can say this is a reversible reaction, right? And this reversible reaction is catalyzed by the enzyme carbonic anhydrase enzyme. This enzyme is very important for this conversion, or converting the carbon dioxide into water to form carbonic acid H2CO3, which is again converted into H plus and HCO3 minus ions. For this also carbonic anhydrase enzyme. This is catalyzed by carbonic anhydrase. Okay. So what we said, where it occurs? It occurs both in the plasma and also erythrocytes or the RBCs. But when you compare the rate of reaction in the plasma and RBC, it is more faster, and or the rate of reaction more in the RBC. Okay. So related to this, one question is there. The formation of carbonic acid and then the bicarbonate ions taking place in both plasma and RBC. But where is the rate of reaction is more? What is the answer? In the RBC. What is the reason? What is the reason? When you compare the carbonic anhydrase enzymes in the plasma and RBC, in the RBC, more carbonic anhydrase enzyme is there. Due to the presence of more enzyme, the rate of reaction is also more here in the RBC. Okay, so this is one important question, right? So when you check the equation, you can see the products. There are two products. One is the H plus ion and another one is HCO3 minus ion. H plus ions, it combines with the hemoglobin. Okay, so in that the H plus ions combines with the hemoglobin to form a weak acid called a hemoglobinic acid. Hemoglobinic acid is formed. Similarly, HCO3 minus, some amount of HCO3 minus ions that combines with the K plus ions, potassium ions, HCO3 minus ions to form AH, the potassium bicarbonate. But that is only a small amount. Majority of this bicarbonate ions, HCO3 minus ion, escape from the RB plasma. In more detail, we will discuss with the help of a diagram. Okay, so carbon dioxide is produced where? Carbon dioxide is produced in the tissue. Suppose this is the representation of a tissue. Okay, so inside the tissue, due to the metabolic reaction, the waste is produced, and the waste the carbon dioxide. Okay, so the carbon dioxide produced here, and this carbon dioxide should be transported to the lungs. Who will transport this carbon dioxide? Through the blood only it is transported. Okay, so there are in the RBs in the blood, you can see the biconcave RBs, right? So this is RBC and then plasma there, right? The blood consists of plasma and then the RBC. So carbon dioxide diffuse through the lymph. In between you can see the tissues, and in the blood in between the lymph there. Through the lymph it is diffused into the plasma, and from the plasma again it is moving towards the carbon dioxide, sorry, in the RBC. Okay, so carbon dioxide through the lymph, it is transporting to the plasma. This is blood plasma, and then from there it diffuses into RBC. Inside the RBC, carbon dioxide combines with the water to form what? Carbonic acid, H2CO3. And this H2CO3 dissolved to form H plus ions plus HCO3 minus ions. Okay, H plus ions and HCO3 minus ions. So HCO3 minus ions will not stay inside the RBC. It diffuses out from the RBC to the plasma. Okay, so HCO3 minus ions from the RBC shift towards the plasma. H minus towards the plasma. Okay, so more and more minus ions, this negative ions going out from the RBC to the plasma. What happens? There is more negative ions there outside, and inside the RBC there is less negative ions. For maintaining the electrical neutrality, some negative ions should enter inside. So the chloride ions present, chloride Cl minus ions present outside the RBC, that is in the plasma, shifted towards the RBC. Okay, so chloride ions will shift to this RBC. Okay, so what happens to this H plus ions? H plus ions combines with this hemoglobin present inside the RBC form hemoglobinic acid form. Okay, H HbH, hemoglobinic acid formed. Okay, and HCO₃ minus ion shifting to the plasma for maintaining the electrical neutrality inside and outside the RBC. The chloride ions are shifting the RBC. So this shifting of chloride ions inside the RBC is known as chloride shift. Okay, so what is Hamburger phenomenon or chloride shift? That is the shifting of chloride ions inside the RBC, shifting of chloride ions inside the RBC, that is known as the chloride shift. Okay, so I hope this concept is clear. Once again, so we discussed about the topic chloride shift or Hamburger phenomenon. This topic is related to the carbon dioxide transport. Okay, so carbon dioxide, the majority of the carbon dioxide is transported in the form of bicarbonate ions. Okay, so this bicarbonate ion will not stay in the RBC. This reaction taking place both in the plasma and RBC, but the rate of reaction more in the RBC. So we are concentrating more in the RBC. Here, carbon dioxide converted into bicarbonate ions. So while transporting, this bicarbonate ions will not stay inside the RBC. While transporting towards the lungs, this bicarbonate shifting towards the plasma for maintaining that concentration, okay, a negative and a positive ions concentration. Chloride ion shifting inside the RBC. And this shifting is known as chloride shift. Okay, so one question related to this. Chloride shift. Question is, chloride shift is chloride shift for the transport of dash. The transport of dash. Okay. Option, first option, oxygen transport, oxygen transport in blood. Okay. Then second option, carbon dioxide transport in blood. Third option, oxygen transport in lungs. Option, carbon dioxide transport in air. So what is the correct answer here? Out of this four option, second option is the correct one. That is the carbon dioxide transport in the blood. That is that chloride shift.